Namaskar, and hello out there. Abhidevananda here, still hovering over the Ocean of Bliss. That's right, not the Atlantic, not the Pacific, the Ocean of Bliss. And the weather is great, not too hot, not too cold, it's just right. And speaking of just right, if spirituality has one purpose, one effect in the external world, then that purpose and effect must be to unite from a spiritual perspective. Everyone and everything has a single common progenitor. We all belong to the clan of Shiva. We are all of us Baba's children. So Ananda Marga must reflect and foster universalism. If any organization does not unite, if it divides, then it cannot be rightly called Ananda Marga. Or maybe better to say Ananda Marga Pracharaka Sangha, the Association for Propagation of Ananda Marga. Nowadays, it seems like people are forgetting Baba's example. They are forgetting many lessons that we were taught at his lotus feet. And maybe some self-serving, opportunistic Gurudrohis, betrayers of Gurudev, actually want people to forget. But these are just posers, not real Margis, and to follow their lead would be a catastrophic mistake. It would be catastrophic for Ananda Marga, and it would be catastrophic for humanity. What we learned from Baba, we must not forget. And if I have anything to say about it, anything at all, we will never forget. When Baba was physically present, as Gurudev, as Paroda Pramukh, and as president of our organization, there was one thing that he never tolerated. Mistakes, sometimes we could make them and he would ignore them. He would not punish us as long as we were trying our best. But regardless of our sincerity or our intent, he always punished groupism. For example, we might see mistakes committed by some authority in our organization. And we could also criticize those mistakes individually. But if we did that as a group, if, for example, we sent anything resembling a petition, and if we sent it to center, then for that, the only punishment meted out was to the petitioners, or the ringleader of the petition. But no noticeable step was ever taken in respect to the subject of that petition. At least, certainly not any immediate steps. The petition itself was a crime, and that crime Baba did not countenance. So when even a petition was not accepted, how much less would Baba accept the promotion of Hindi, Bengali, or even Indian sentiment? The same applies to the Russian sentiment. De facto, it is a crime against the Ananda Marga. The people who pose as central officers or Paroda Pramukh on the Hindi or Bengali side, they are simply self-seeking criminals. Anyone who encourages or even associates with them is acting contrary to the will of Baba and the spirit of his Ananda Marga. It doesn't matter if a group calls itself Ananda Marga Pracharaka Sangha, even if it poses as the true management of those who would spread Ananda Marga, if that management is somehow elitist. For example, all Hindi, all Bengali, or all Indian, then it is just a fraud. Now, there are some who say, unity. We are all for it. We are all about unity. And that is why, at our meetings, at our Dharma chakras, we accept people from all the groups. At best, such an approach is misguided. At worst, it is utter hypocrisy. Such people say, at our Dharma chakra, people in any group may come. But is that really the unity or universalism of Ananda Marga? No, absolutely not. And why is that? Because implicit in that position is the acceptance of groups. And groupism is the opposite of universalism. If a Brahmin comes to take initiation before receiving Diksha, he must first take off his sacred thread, or so-called sacred thread. There's nothing sacred about it. And similarly, if anyone comes to Dharma Chakra, he or she must first renounce any groupist affiliation. Otherwise, we will not have unity, and there will be no Ananda Marga. In the same way as selfish national leaders tend to reject the notion of a world government, groupists are reluctant to abandon their groupist identity. And hence they are not universalists. They are not neo-humanists. They are not true Ananda Margis. Sure, in the world today we find many people who promote variations on a multi-state solution. The United Nations itself is a multi-state solution. But is it really any kind of solution at all? Are these nations really united? Looking at current events in the Middle East, is it reasonable to expect a two-state solution for the Israeli Jews and the Palestinian Muslims? Two groups with inherently opposing objectives? I say objectives and not ideology, because hatred and lust for power cannot rightly be called ideology. There is no connection with the Supreme, no ideal worth striving for. And look, we don't even need to see the problem in terms of major world religions. In the USA, look at the chaos and division that exists between just the two main political parties, the Democrats and the Republicans. So today, in Ananda Marga, we find many factional bodies. We see a Hindi Marg consisting mainly of Hindi-speaking Indians, a Bengali Marg consisting mainly of Bengali-speaking Indians, a Hindu Marg consisting mainly of the miscellaneous Indians, Indians who are neither Hindi-speaking nor Bengali-speaking, and even a Russian Marg, that group of Russian-speaking non-Indian spiritual tourists who call themselves meditation steps. And all of these factional bodies, including their hangers-on, the non-standard stooges, they are all just an embarrassment for Ananda Marga and a betrayal of our Gurudev. So let us all be crystal clear about this. Ananda Marga is not a mosaic. It is a single monolithic entity. Namaskar.